come back to explain you the everything that I got into. So recently, I have learned about the some communication interface into the EVS, I mean the electric vehicle system, right? So in electric vehicle, we have to understand the much of the complicated topics and methodology. So for that, I had to come back to explain you what is the communication interface into the electric vehicle and how these system does work to keep the vehicle as smart as possible, right? So today we're going to explain what are these communication interface and how they are going to the work into the electric vehicle system. So in this today video, this is only would be a topic of the communication interfaces. So we are not going to talk about the usual topic that we have been used multiple times to speak up on our the live stream. But in this video, today we're going to see what is the communication interfaces. This is the most crucial part of the entire vehicle. Without it, your car cannot be work and function as usual. So for that, you have to gather some of the components that has included into the communication interface. So let's go into know what are these. But wait, first I had to set up my camera, right? Okay. Okay, you can see me clearly because I don't have the much resolution camera. This camera is actually getting the data that is equals 180p or 780p, 720p, or even below the 720p. I know I don't have the much of the premium setup for this, but you can actually see this entire display where I have written the communication interfaces. So let's go into understand what is it and why we do use the communication interfaces into the vehicle. That is a more specifically described as a EVA. So electric vehicle, right? So the first you have to understand what is the electric vehicle, right? Electric vehicle is the battery powered vehicle which doesn't have the IC engines in like internal combustion engine or the any the fuel that runs the its entire engine system. So the electric vehicle is fully rely onto the battery system and the motor system. These are equipped with the electrical power and that power imposed to the function the entire vehicle. So for that we have to be a more electrical, we have to be a more electrified for that, right? So not only the electric vehicle, there is any other kind of the vehicle just like IC engines based vehicles or the cell based vehicle or the plug-in hybrid or the hybrid vehicles. These all have the similar communication interfaces, just like electric vehicle have. So there is no any other deviations between the structure of integrity of this the electric vehicle and the structure that has integrated into the other kind of the vehicle, right? So this is the common and universal part. The communication interfaces could be a differ than any other the vehicle does have because it's actually the manufactured by the company who is willing to make this because they wanted to keep the entire sensors the right internal of the smart devices to the alive. That's why they keep the interfaces according to their internal part, internal plan. So that's why we do keep this entire interfaces as a customizable, not the universal applicable, right? This is just the universal applicable as the characteristics, but actually we can actually customize this one, right? So without wasting a time, let's see what's in it. So there are the three part of there is a three part into the interfaces and three components that are significantly used to manage the entire communication interfaces. These are the couple of with the lot of the electronic components into the electric vehicle, and that make the possibility of to being a smart electric vehicle car. So that's why the communication interfaces and they're the under work some of the components that used to make the functional of the communication interfaces and its goal as a successful. So let's go and understand what are these by one. So the first we're going to understand the CAN, the CAN. So let's go in for this. Yeah, you can see there the CAN, the CAN, the controller area network. So the CAN is the primary system that used to, yeah, yeah, that is to the communicate with the other electronics components. Just like your the brain, right? Your brain is emitting. Actually, your brain is transmitting the primary data to your the some physical organs, and then the physical organs keep the going on their work. Just like your heart is a keep going on because of your brain. So your brain is actually the transmitting data to the heart as a continuously without other stopping. So the CAN is the brain of the communication interfaces. So the first we have to understand what they have written about the CAN. So let's going to see the controller area network. This actually controls and leads the controlling the any other the devices and components that has been set up into the vehicle. So the first you can see the CAN is a communication system that ensures that connect the BMS to the charging station. CAN is the communication methodology that used. It works as a bridge between the electronic components to receive the transmit of the data, right? So this is just the system that used to do right now as a primary part of the entire vehicle. Also, it comes to the charge your vehicle by using the local charging systems. So charging stations that has created by the local, just like a company has established them onto the any area. So these are the charging stations. When you plug the charging station cable and entire cord into the vehicle, then that the use can also the act as a bridge between the BMS and your the charging station, right? In a simple meaning, the CAN is a gather of the data from the charging station and evaluate that and transfer to other electronic components that has used to do multiple tasks into the vehicle while the electric vehicle being charging up and while the electric vehicle being fully charged. So this is just the initial part of the entire communication interfaces that initiate the whole process of the communication and the data transferring process between the electronics components. So the CAN is just the bridge between the BMS and the charging station input power. So that when the charging station input power goes in, after that the CAN sends the some presence of the input power. Then it sends the data to the BMS. So BMS actually get connected to the power of the charging station, and then after that we can actually have the safely charge your vehicle battery without any interruptions. That's why it's transmit a data to other electronic devices that has been hooked up for the any monitoring system, just like the your display or anything else. That is really have to be more functional in this way. So the CAN is just a bridge between the BMS. BMS means that the battery management system, which ensures the any other the temper current should not be in or any other the short circuit should not be happen while you're charging your vehicle and while the vehicle is operating on a general mode. So both of the things it should be very ensured in a process. So that's why we don't use that once again. So let's see the what is after the CAN. CAN is just the initiative of the entire communication interfaces. And now we're going to see the second part, the LIN, the local interconnect network. And now we're going to see, you can see under my display. Yeah, there you can see the local interconnect network, the LIN. So LIN, LIN, you can describe another way, in every way. But as we have to understand what is a LIN in other part, it actually is, comes up after the CAN because it's just the secondary system of the entire communication interface. So we have to keep that internal knowledge about this one. So the first you have to understand what is it. So what is the context of this thing? The communication system in electric vehicles that allows the electronic components to exchange a data. It controls at a low cost and low protocol that enables the communication between the sensors and actuators and other electrical components in a vehicle. In a simple meaning, this is your nervous system of your body. When the nervous system keeps you conscious in your day-to-day life because you have to the sense the reality. So just like this, the other sensors and actuators, the sensor means the sensory organs that your sensation is really the telling you where did you have touch because the temperature changes and the your touching sensation. That's all the data that is actually going through the link. I'm not actually talking about the biological system, but just like this analogy has created by me, you can actually understand this is the nervous system of the electric vehicle communication interfaces. So first we have to see the actuators and the sensors, sensory organs of your body. It's just like in a vehicle, that sensors ensures the speedometer, the speed of the vehicle, the distance of the vehicle between the other vehicle, and more of the sensors that including just like a temperature sensor or the lot of sensors are there to be present. So these are the sensors coupled up with the LIN to communicate with the main computer system. So there are the main computer block that ensures that everything should be work. That's called the electric control unit. So ECU actually being used to as the brain of the entire thing. But there are the more the very wonderful thing about this one. This is actually controlling and exchange data to the telling that the system is working well or not with the perfect protocol, because you can see this is actually controlling on the other hand the actuators in a vehicle, just like your the trunk system. That trunk system actually get the open up by itself automatically, that being actually using the actuators. Just like that, your the entire vehicle has the multiple actuators that you doesn't know, just like lowering your the entire lowering your the height of the vehicle down and up. So this flow we have the actuators. So those actuators being controlled by the lane because of the this actually transmitting the data and receiving the data from the actuator and sensors. So this is just the bridge between the actuator and sensors and other electronic components that being used as the primarily into the vehicle. So there's another part that comes up with this one because the secondary system has been controlled. Correct? Has been explained here, right? So this is the electric vehicle communication interfaces nervous system. You can actually describe this as a nervous system of the entire vehicle, not only the communication interface block, because the communication interfaces is really different than the other interfaces does exist there, right? So, but communication interfaces, without having the communication interfaces, we cannot have the perfect and proper electric vehicle as a you depicting through your imagination, how you imagine in a hypothesis, like imagine about the electric vehicle. The electric vehicle cannot be a smarter as this without this one. So we should be have that one, right? So this is a link, the local network, sorry, local interconnect protocol, so network. So this is just the local interconnect network that is used to gather the data from the sensors and actuators and more than the other electronic components to send that data to our the main computer system that used to the control the whole unit. So and let's see the third one, which is the last one of our the entire explanation system. So the third one is the UART. So let's see what is that. So universal asynchronous transmitter. This is the name of that. You can see behind me when I thumbs up. Yeah, there we go. The UART, the Universal Asynchronous Receiver Transmitter. I just missed that, the receiver word. Sorry for that. But let's go ahead. So this is just the really this is the sorry, this is the last part and the final and the third being used as the components into the system, right? This is the microchip, just like your this phone does have. Your phone have the CPU, just like that. It have the microchip. This is a microchip that controls the whole unit of the entire vehicle. This ensures that everything is going on in the vehicle as well or not. In other hand, we can actually understand the I mean the errors being happen into the vehicle, how that errors could be sold, and the how that errors could be like minimize or multiple things that happen in the vehicle. This is just the secondary objective of this entire microchip. But the UART, the Universal Asynchronous Receiver Transmitter, this is actually receive the data and transmit the data in a beat form. The one beat, actually there is a beat that actually is sent by it's the one leg of the transmitter. I mean, just that the microchip. So you cannot understand without having the knowledge about the IC. IC, how does that IC look? So that like a microchip that actually have the consisted with the multiple of the legs. That the legs is connected to the multiple systems. So these are the legs is really the transmitting the per bit of the data. The baud, the baud is called to and known as the entire the like bit per seconds, the BFS. Sorry, BPS. Sorry, I'm just like going to be very ballistic now. So BPS. So BPS means the bit per second, right? So that's the call the entire velocity of the transmitting the data. So the baud is being stabilized under the command of the UART. So this is just the system that stabilizes everything. But you can see in the context there is a multiple thing as inconsistent and the mention to how it does work. So let's see what it for used to. This is the microchip which transmits the data between the electronic devices. UART is very low cost, sorry, the cost-effective solution for data communication EV. It primarily used to communicate between the sensors and actual devices. In a EV, yep, UART is commonly integrated into the microcontroller chips in automobiles, smart cars, and scenes in EV, MCU, communication with the display unit and the vehicle front. In a in a simple meaning, you might have seen actually in every vehicle does have the primary display on board. So that display is showing the primary data about the vehicle speed and the vehicle internal of the components, some of the monitor data. So that the display is interconnected with the UART. So UART is actually transmitting that data to the console that has been integrated on board of the entire vehicle that known as the display. So that display is showing the exact value of the every sensors that are used to be more optimistic throughout your the driving conditions. So you will know how much speed you have raised and how much of the data. Sorry, how much data regarding to your tire pressure or a lot of things. Just like the your auxiliary systems, the auxiliary system is just like a your the indicator systems, and if your vehicle is you are very smarter, then you will have the system just like the lidar. So lidar, another camera system, and the auto parking system, and that's the these all are the auxiliary system being interconnected by the UART. UART ensures that the data should be received and transmitted to sensors. And just like the LIN that we have seen just a moment ago, just like that, it does work as a similarly, but with the different genre. The first genre is it does receive the data from the sensors and transmit that data into the console. Console means that display that I have introduced you. So that too we can actually understand, and driver and customer can understand how the all the sensor is going on. So this is a very depth car topic I have introduced here. So that's why this is very greater right now to see the communication interfaces. These are the these were the very greater points to understand what is the communication interfaces. Like here, I'm just speaking out because of my entire mouth, right? These are my auxiliary organs, right? But my internal of my body, there is my the main components that used to being myself alive and conscious. So just like this, the last of the components we have learned, the last of the like topology we have learned, that module used to they communicate with the display, right? So that's the auxiliary system that I'm just including my eyes and nose or my mouth. So I am depicting my other information because of my brain is processing that. So that's like that. I just the last system does work. So UART, the universal asynchronous the receiver and transmitter, very crazy that. I literally have a learn in a depth, so you can actually learn very easily without any other obligation, right? So let's go into the in this entire live stream because I don't have the much time to speak up here. I probably will go off for the months, or even few months. I don't know when I will be come up again. But even if I had my chance to come up, then I will come up again here, right? So this was the communication differences with the undertaken all the points that I have understood you, right? Like I'm a thought here. So before I'm going to and like while I'm going to off, I wanted to say you weakness is your bleeding blood. You have to be wipe it before the predator sniff it. So you have to be a more optimistic in your way. Doesn't matter the weakness, how much weakness you had, but your weakness is not does not the minus by zero. So that's why you have to be a more optimistic in your way. Doesn't matter your communication and vocabulary skill is very low, but you should keep the try to be a more at the peak. So for the today, this is a very unique topic I haven't explained you here, and after that I've been we are off for the weeks or even months. So bye guys, I will meet as soon as possible before this entire year will be a one-off. So bye guys. I definitely felt a more great today because I explained something that I actually trying to understand. I finally have understood and then explain you guys. This was really crazy for me, right? So bye.